Have you ever closed a dating app and felt strangely worse than before you opened it? You started with curiosity, maybe even a little excitement. You swiped through profiles, saw dozens of faces, maybe matched with a few people. But after a while, something strange happened. Instead of feeling hopeful about meeting someone, you felt tired, maybe even lonely. And the weirdest part is that you were technically surrounded by more options than ever before. If dating apps are designed to help people connect, why do so many users end up feeling more disconnected than before? This emotional exhaustion has a name psychologists are beginning to talk about more and more. It's called dating app burnout. Today, we're exploring why modern dating apps, which promise connection and excitement, can slowly create feelings of loneliness, frustration, and emotional fatigue. And more importantly, how your brain can reset and start approaching connection in a healthier way. At first glance, dating apps seem like a perfect solution to a very human problem. Meeting new people used to depend on social circles, workplaces, or chance encounters. But now, with just a few swipes, you can instantly see hundreds of potential partners. In theory, this should make dating easier. But the human brain doesn't always work well with endless choice. In psychology, there's a concept known as the paradox of choice. When people are given too many options, instead of feeling excited, they often feel overwhelmed. Decision-making becomes stressful rather than enjoyable. Dating apps amplify this effect dramatically. Every profile represents a potential decision. Swipe left, swipe right, start a conversation, ignore it, respond later, keep looking. After dozens or even hundreds of these micro decisions, the brain begins to experience something similar to decision fatigue. This mental exhaustion can slowly drain the excitement from the experience. But choice overload is only one part of the story. Another reason dating apps can create burnout is the way they trigger the brain's reward system. Each time you get a match or receive a message, your brain releases a small burst of dopamine. That's the same chemical connected to motivation and reward. This makes the experience feel exciting in the beginning. But over time, the brain adapts. The same level of stimulation no longer feels as satisfying. Suddenly, a single match isn't enough. People start swiping more, hoping for that same feeling of excitement again. This creates a cycle that feels surprisingly similar to other forms of digital engagement. You swipe more, hoping for a reward. Sometimes you get one. Sometimes you don't. That unpredictability keeps the brain engaged, but it also slowly drains emotional energy. Another hidden factor behind dating app burnout is something psychologists call the gamification effect. Many dating apps are designed to feel like a game. Swiping is fast, visual, and repetitive. Profiles appear and disappear quickly. This design keeps people engaged, but it also changes how we perceive other people. Instead of seeing individuals as complex human beings, the brain begins to process profiles like quick decisions in a game. At first, this feels efficient, but over time, it can create emotional distance. Real relationships require curiosity, patience, and emotional attention. But the fast pace of swiping trains the brain to evaluate people in seconds. This shift can make genuine connection harder. Another reason people experience burnout is rejection fatigue. On dating apps, rejection happens quietly and constantly. Most matches never turn into conversations. Many conversations suddenly stop. Sometimes people disappear without explanation. This behavior, often called ghosting, is extremely common in digital dating environments. Each small rejection may not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, these experiences accumulate. The brain starts interpreting them as signs that something is wrong. Even though ghosting often has nothing to do with personal value, the emotional effect can still be powerful. People begin questioning themselves. Why did the conversation stop? Did I say something wrong? Was I not interesting enough? These thoughts slowly chip away at confidence. Another surprising factor behind dating app loneliness is the illusion of abundance. When people feel there are endless options available, they sometimes invest less effort in any single connection. Why commit emotionally when another profile might appear in the next swipe? This mindset affects both sides of the interaction. People may become more cautious, less open, and less willing to explore deeper conversations. The result is a strange paradox. Everyone has more options, but fewer meaningful connections. This environment can create emotional fatigue very quickly. But the most important thing to understand is that dating app burnout doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It simply means your brain is reacting to an environment that moves faster than human emotional systems were designed for. Real connection has always required time, attention, and vulnerability. But dating apps compress the entire process into a rapid sequence of decisions. When the brain processes hundreds of potential connections quickly, it becomes harder to invest emotionally in any one of them. The good news is that the brain is incredibly adaptable. Small changes in behavior can dramatically change how these experiences feel. One powerful step is slowing down the process intentionally. Instead of swiping through dozens of profiles in one sitting, limiting the number of interactions allows the brain to treat each connection with more attention. When people focus on fewer conversations, they often experience less emotional fatigue and more meaningful interactions. Another helpful shift is changing the mindset around matches. Instead of seeing matches as instant opportunities for connection, it can help to see them as simple introductions. Not every conversation will lead somewhere, and that's normal. Removing the pressure to immediately create chemistry can make interactions feel lighter and more natural. Taking breaks from dating apps can also be surprisingly powerful. Many people feel guilty about stepping away, as if they might miss an opportunity. But short breaks allow the brain to reset its emotional energy. During these breaks, focusing on real-world activities, friendships, hobbies, and personal growth can restore confidence and balance. Ironically, people often become more attractive partners when they feel fulfilled outside the dating process. Another helpful step is remembering something very simple but very important. Behind every profile is a real human being. When we approach interactions with curiosity instead of evaluation, conversations become more genuine. Instead of quickly deciding whether someone fits a perfect image, we allow the interaction to unfold naturally. This shift alone can transform the entire experience. Because at the end of the day, dating apps are only tools. They are not the full picture of connection. Real relationships still depend on empathy, shared experiences, laughter, and emotional understanding. Technology can introduce people, but it cannot replace the human process of building trust. And when people remember that, something interesting happens. The pressure disappears. Instead of trying to win the game of swiping, they begin focusing on authentic connection again. Sometimes the healthiest reset is simply stepping back and remembering that meeting the right person has never been about speed. It has always been about timing, compatibility, and emotional presence. If you've ever felt exhausted by the world of swiping, know that your reaction is completely human. Your brain is simply asking for something slower, deeper, and more meaningful than an endless stream of profiles. And when you start listening to that signal, the experience of connection can begin to feel hopeful again. If this topic made you reflect on your own experiences with modern dating, you're definitely not alone. Millions of people are navigating the same psychological landscape, and we explore these hidden patterns of human behavior, helping you understand the psychology behind relationships, technology, emotions, and the way the modern world shapes how we connect with each other.